traders, Raghee here. Let's take a look at how we are starting off October. Yesterday, I was looking at shorts in XLE, RTY, crude oil, and regional banks. And every single one of those opportunities just kept sinking. I didn't get my slight bounce or reversion, and I was flat as a pancake yesterday. So I kind of started off today thinking, hey, something similar can happen. And today we went ahead and focused on KRE and IWM for the most part. Now, I love when these are moving together, especially if they're moving together with weakness in the Dow and in financials. Not that that's needed, but I have found the probability of following through in regional banks is better when big banks are moving with it. I have found the probability of the Russell moving and following through is far better when the Dow is moving with it. And it has to do with the link that they both have at the index level to banking, regional or big banks. So that's just another thing I'll look for, but this is what we did. Now, for those of you wondering, well, Rog, what about going with the RTY? Yes, you can absolutely go with the RTY in terms of the setup. A lot of times before 10 o'clock, before a major high volume, high volatility, impactful hot zone scheduled event, I'll favor the ETF because I can manage risk a little bit better in terms of playing IWM in lieu of RTY. So this is what we did today. And tomorrow, just a quick heads up, today we have the JOLTS at 10. Tomorrow we have ISM services. Should not be as big a deal. Any jobs number like the JOLTS or this Friday's NFP, it's going to be a significant volatility event. So we have to be aware of the risk around an event like that. So let's jump into what we're dealing with. Big sell-off in with the broader averages, but let's focus on the NASDAQ. Is this really a problem? Is the NASDAQ going anywhere new? It's going absolutely nowhere new. Is there any new level that we're crossing as we're just traversing a pretty well-worn path? And I'm still pretty bullish on the NAS, more so because the sectors weighted within it look better than the sectors weighted within the S&P, Dow, and even Russell. So I'm most bullish NASDAQ. Ultimately, though, it probably will still pay to keep an eye on the short term, right? So while we're talking about the short term, you saw the two trades here that we put on in the Sector Secrets Mastery, and the futures version of this we put on in the futures room via RTY, the December contract. But a lot of folks ask, okay, Rog, and this is really what I wanted to talk about in this update. Hey, how did you do last month, with this approach? So this is let me open this up here. This is the TradesViz. I think I've shown this to you all a handful of times before. And this is the TradesViz that allows me to take the statements from my platform and upload them into this thing. And this thing spits out a merciless recount of what it is that I've done in the previous month. So let's go over that here real quick. Now, you all might remember the August breakdown. So this is the same software. You'll see all the different so I have June's, I have the August day trading, we have the September day trading, which is what we're looking at right now, and I'm starting my October day trading tally. But this is September, and one of the things that I did over at thecountdowntrader.com, check that out because there's a much longer, much harsher view of my month, meaning, it's easy to step back and say that in a $45,000 base position sizing account. In other words, my account balance dictates how many dollars I will spend for each trade. I used a fixed budget. I also use a fixed stop approach. So all this is based on a fixed type breakdown. And so that was the result. I'll tell you, September underperformed August. And while it's still a really good month, this is the P&L for the month. When I step back and look at the number of trades I made, I probably did not trade enough. That's the way I look at it. I was probably a little bit conservative as we went into end of quarter, which doesn't surprise me. End of quarter can be challenging. Win rate was good, maybe a smidge too high, which tells me I took targets a little too early. My T1s were probably a little too safe But nonetheless, still a really good month. I think the most interesting thing is the way we recovered from a kind of bumpy start to the beginning of the month, and then we were able to stabilize at a fairly predictable win rate as we went through easily 2/3 of the month. I think the most interesting part of this breakdown is the way in which when I take a look at September, which is what's sitting here, look at how many days we put on multiple trades, but sometimes, I don't know why this is going back and forth. There we go. We put on multiple trades, but some days I went 1 win, 1 loss, or 2 wins, 1 loss, or 3 wins, 1 loss. It does seem the losses were fairly persistent in this, much more than August. August, I either had a losing day or I had a winning day. This is much more interesting and probably much more reflective of normal trading action, where we have put on a number of trades. We cut our losers quickly. I mean, look at how we cut our losers really consistently, and then we let the winners do their job. And that's the only way you can end up with a win rate like this. And this is the only way you can end up with a P&L like this. You don't add to losers, and you take profits as you can, not when you have to. So this is what we did last month. This would be the options day trading. But again, like I showed you with IWM, there's always the RTY look. So I promised last week when I did the SPX Darvis breakdown, thanks for all the views and all the questions and all the feedback on that. Great stuff on using S&P to trade SPX as well as Darvis. Check out Friday's free video. And then I promised that, hey, I'll show you what I did in the Sector Secrets Mastery through September. This is it. And we'll do the same thing at the end of October. By the way, what I think I'm going to do in October is we have our Orlando Summit coming up. And that's going to be in Orlando, obviously, on October 28th. And I'm going to be there. It'd be cool to see you all. I know a lot of Mastery folks are going to be there. And so we're going to have some in-depth sessions, Q&A panel. There's going to be a VIP welcome party. There's going to be a poker tournament. So if you want to check it out, it's simplertrading.com/Orlando-Summit. And I'm going to actually, during that summit, talk about the way in which October behaved and how to design a month around, how do you recover like this? What is it that you've got to do? And what mindset do you have to start off with a 50% win rate and say, hey, I can improve this? Those are things that I'll get into during the summit. What kind of trades are we choosing? What kind of tools are we using? So if you want a full breakdown, and this will be my session at the Orlando Summit, along with relative performance and watch list building. But I think we're really going to dive into October results, and I'll take all the questions about how to fine tune this stuff during that summit. I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's on the 28th. In the meanwhile, as always, gang, you can check out what I'm doing over in the Sector Secrets Mastery at Sector, SECTOR, secrets.com. All right, gang, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any requests, leave them below. Thanks, as always, for smashing the like button, and I'll see you in the next update. Hey, traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.